Welcome all the attendees to this webinar. The topic is on the industry best practices of 2022, which is based on our latest survey. This is conducted and published biannually, and this is our 10th survey on equity compensation trends, wherein we saw participation of 300 plus companies from India and Southeast Asia, both listed as well as unlisted. So the purpose of the series of frequent webinars of late that we have been conducting is to bring in more awareness about the best practices and challenges in planning as well as execution of employee ownership and compensation plans. So the presenter for today is my senior colleague and mentor, Mr. Rahul Somani. He is head of consulting and operations. He's been part of the leadership team at ESOP Direct for past 12 years. He's been involved in designing and implementation of plan of more than 300 clients. It's safe to say he's an industry veteran in equity compensation space, and he brings in a lot of expertise in advisory, accounting, and valuations of stock options. He's also got a very strong background being a qualified CA, and he has also served PwC previously for more than 5 years. So I think before we start, I would just request all the participants to be on mute and also switch off your cameras. We'll also be taking all the questions towards the end of the session, but you can always, write your questions in the chat. So over to you, Rahul.
Yeah, thanks, Neha, and thanks for introducing me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on ESOP trends. So, as Neha already described a little bit about the ESOP survey and all, but I will go a little bit more detail and give you a perspective that how we do the survey and what are the what are the findings we have seen and some of the key takeaways during this webinar part. So today we are going to discuss the latest trends in equity-based compensation, and definitely we are just put some light on what are changes we have seen and how it helps you in structuring your equity-based compensation plans. So we have seen these we are doing this survey from last this is our 10th edition, and we are doing this survey from last 10 years. So we are doing this survey from last 20 years actually, and biannually we do it. So it is like a 10th edition, which is so we are tracking these trends from many years actually from here. So I just start with some of the things just to highlights about the ESOP Direct survey and from how we have got these responses, what are our methodology, and who have participated in this survey. And also from this webinar point of view, that we are focused on some of the points related to India unlisted and listed companies. So all these points will be covered under this webinar. So ESOP trends in this webinar are based on ESOP Direct survey. This is our 10th survey over this. We tried to add this time global trends as well. So we have extended our survey to Southeast Asia to get the trends there as well, so that we can compare it with the Indian companies to the Southeast Asia, which is a part of our complete or full survey this year. We conducted this survey over the period of 3 months. This is last year. We did it in September 22 to December 22, and in this. So we got the responses, then we complied all the things in the recently we launched our ESOP Direct survey as well. That is the full survey with all questions, whatever we asked, with the listed, unlisted perspective, and also the Southeast Asia, how the people are tackling the accounting, taxation. So everything, it is a complete thing you can see over. This survey has around 30 questions about the plan framework, tax, accounting, and various topics. like means accounting, compliances, plan administration. So this is a more than 30 questions giving you insight about the whole ESOP's plan, not only about the structuring, but also how to communicate, what are the plan administration. So this will cover from end to end life cycle of ESOPs. Particularly, if talking about this webinar, this webinar is focused on listed and unlisted companies in India. So as you see that means we have around 30 questions and we have 1 hour webinar, so we are not able to cover everything. So we are planning to cover the structure part in this webinar, and we have a series of webinar which will cover the other aspects as well, like plan communications, plan administrations, how companies are tackling when employees are exiting from the organization. So all these things will be covered in the series of webinars which will come. You will get the updates from the team that when the next webinar is happening. So now moving to just to give you brief about the demographics, that how exhaustive we have done this time and how many participants were there. So this time around 300 companies has participated in this survey, and I want to thank everyone who has participated in this ESOP survey. So around 31% is listed companies in India. Out of this 300, approximate 28% is listed companies in India, 31% is unlisted companies in Southeast Asia, and 41% unlisted companies in India. So if I check the numbers around this is approximate 85 listed companies has participated from India, and around 127 unlisted companies has participated from India. There are around approximate 90 companies who has participated from Southeast Asia. So these are the respondents for this survey. Yeah, so I just want to repeat myself. In this webinar, we are focused on ESOP trends in listed and unlisted companies in India. So we are focusing on 28% and 41% more. The next webinar series will cover Southeast Asia and as well as the other administration and other questions. So survey respondents are mostly CEO, CXOs, and vice presidents. And if you see around, I mean, if I see that around 54% companies has more than 200 employees, and 46% companies are less than 200 employees, if I see. And out of this, approximately 20% companies has more than 5,000 employees. So you can see the participants are from across the industry. It is not just focused on some specific group. It is a wide range. The people has participated in this. So now coming to the main, I mean, pointers actually, that how, I mean, why. So the main objectives comes that why ESOPs, why companies do ESOP. So we have jotted down some of the objectives, like people do it for retention, reward, employee ownership, attract talent, wealth creation, saving on cost. So all these things we have considered that, okay, these are the main objectives. But if we go with the listed companies, why you want to do it? What are the main objective you look for when you are implementing an equity-based compensation plan? And what we have seen that approximate 71% companies, and the next is the 59% companies. So majority it is retention and reward. The people looks when they go with the LTIP. So it is the other objectives are important, but the main focus, the listed companies are for retention and reward. And very similar trend we have seen in the unlisted company. So if you see here, it is also like more or less 70% companies go for retention and reward in unlisted scenarios as well. So this is something like we can say that retention and rewards are the main drivers and or the main objectives of implementing implementing ESOPs on long-term incentive plans in listed as well as unlisted companies. We have also asked the companies that, okay, you have these objectives, but whether these objectives has been achieved by implementing these plans or whatever you have thought of. So in our, I mean, around 90 to 97% of the companies has said that they have achieved fully or partly the objectives what they have in their mind when they have implemented the ESOP plan. So this is a great number actually, that yes, so there are many companies who have fully achieved or partly achieved the objectives what they have thought of when they have implemented ESOP plan. ESOP trends, when to implement. So that is something, I mean, so whom to cover actually, that is the coverage, that okay, when, whom to cover, how much should be the coverage, to what level I should go. So those are some of the questions which comes when you are doing a structuring part. And this is a very, I mean, sometimes you think over that, okay, what the industry is doing. So we have complied this part. And so if you see in the listed companies, most of the listed companies cover up to 10% of the employee strength. So this is something like, if you see that the trend is increasing to that level only, that okay, cover the small area, which is like up to 65% companies earlier were going for 10%, and now it is 68%. So more or less the trend is same. There is not much difference. The coverage, from the coverage point of view, that yes, the listed companies are still going for the key managers, key employees, and they are covering up to 10% of their strength. So it is not yet very broad based, but it is more related to the limited employees. Sorry. We have also asked that, okay, means to what level you have granted ESOPs. So means, are you granting to all employees, or are you granting to some senior employees, or how are the things? So 81% of the companies cover senior and middle management. So that is a, so that is very much similar to what we can say, up to 10%, that most of the companies go till middle management, but still they are not reaching out to the junior. Only a selective basis they go it. And what are the selection criteria? So if I see the selection criteria, the selection criteria are mostly based on the past performance. So how you select an employees under the long-term incentive plan. So generally companies look for past performance, current designations, and future potential, that okay, how this employee is going to help, whether he is critical to the organization. So they consider these parameters when they are deciding or selecting an employee. So this is very important, and we have seen this in the listed companies. The trend has not much change for the coverage part. Still it is very much limited to the key employees. Yeah, but yes, there is a means change in trends in unlisted companies. So earlier unlisted companies also follow that we cover the key employees, and 58% responded talks the same thing in 2020. But in 2022 we have seen that this trend has changed. This trend has changed, and and now the unlisted companies are going more deeper into the organization. So it is not that only they are covering up to 10% of the thing. If you see, it is now moving to 11 to 20, and even 21 to 30% also. So the companies are going more deeper into the organization in an unlisted company scenario. So this is very important, and we have seen that this is a changing trend, where unlisted companies are more moving towards the broad-based plan, increasing the coverage and going more deeper into the organization. So grants in unlisted companies cover more levels. They go beyond the senior employees. They go to some also to the junior employees, or they want to cover everybody in the organization. Sometimes they do those things as well. But selection criteria, we have also asked, okay, how you have selected the employees under the long-term incentive plan, and the selection criteria are very much similar to the listed companies. So there is a change in trend between the listed and unlisted companies, and unlisted companies are going more broad-based actually, that we can take out from this particular trends. Frequency and quantum. So frequency and quantum means very important actually, that whenever you start a LTIP plan, the first thing comes into the mind, okay, when means in how much frequency I should grant, and what would be the quantum actually, because the expected benefit to be matched with the industry is very important from a structuring point of view. So In listed companies, we have seen that still the annual grant is more popular, but there is an increase in trend for the joining grants. So this is very important that earlier listed companies are just going for annual grant one time in a year, but now they are also offering the joining grants, which help them to attract talent. They grant options when the employee join the organization. So this is something a change in trend we have seen from 2020 to 2022 in case of listed companies. Quantum, yes, how much would be the expected benefit if I'm granting an options to employees, how much he should make? So this is very important questions, because anything, if I'm granting very less, then it will not motivate my employee, and if I'm granting very uh, too much, then it will be like a huge dilution for me. So we have also asked companies that, okay, how much quantum you are deciding, how, I mean, so what is the quantum you are looking for? So the most of the companies in a listed scenario has suggested that for the most critical employees, they are going with 80 to 100% CTC per annum. So I just go a little bit, I will stop here and give a little bit more focus on this particular point, because how you decide the 100% CTC per annum. So this is something that just for an illustration. Suppose somebody is earning around 10 million annually, and our plan is around 4 years vesting period. So we have asked the respondents, okay, how much you look into it. So it is like a 40 million they should earn. The most critical employee should earn 40 million over the period of 4 years. So we have taken out that 100% CTC per annum is that the listed companies are looking for the most critical employees. And yes, most options granted to CEO and CXO. So the concentration is still in the listed companies to the key employees, and we have seen that approximate 44% of the total options granted. This is an average of like how much is the I have made the grant, and out of this, 44% generally distributed among CEO and CXOs. So most of the options has been granted in a listed company scenarios, because our coverage is limited. The most of the options will be given to CEOs and CXOs. Unlisted companies frequency, yes, unlisted companies are moving away from one-off grants to annual grants. So this is something unlisted companies are moving towards the listed company side, that just not grant one time and then just wait for 3 4 years. They are starting with the annual grant thing. So this is also getting popular is in unlisted companies, where what we have seen from our 2022 uh, ESOP survey. Quantum. So quantum means expected benefit, that how much benefit I should give to employees. So which is, so in unlisted companies, we have seen that people are granting more than 100% of CTC as well. So most of the respondents has told us that they are granting more than 100% of CTC per annum to the most critical employees. So the person who is getting the highest number will get more than 100% of CTC. So this is something is like, means you can say that the most critical employees is getting the highest benefit. And if I, in a similar way, what I have told in the listed scenario, unlisted company, if I take a 4 years period, it is more than 400% of CTC. Generally, companies look for actually when they are granting, where the plan period is more than 4 5 years. Yes, unlisted companies are moving towards the trend of covering junior employees. So this is something we have seen in my earlier slide as well, and which is very matching with the other questions or trends as well. That the unlisted companies are going more broad based, from up to 10% of quantum. They are moving little bit toward 20 to 30% of the employee strength, and they are also looking to cover the junior employees as well. So this is something is a change we have seen, major change we have seen in unlisted companies. So this is the new question we added this time in our survey, that how you decide the value per option. Very important that, okay, you have the expected benefit, but how you decide that how much number I need to grant. And for this, you should know the value per option. So this time we have asked both listed and unlisted companies that, okay, how you decide the value per options when you are granting options to employees. So if you see the trend, 41% of the listed companies said that they use the fair value method, which is also a scientific method to decide the, yes, there are some limitations, but even we agree that this is the scientific method to decide the value of the options. But most of the respondents told that 41% of the companies go with a fair value. The second biggest number is 24%, where they also consider the future market appreciation. So these are the two common methods used by the listed companies to decide the value per option. So for your future market appreciation, just give an example like considering the future CAGR, that okay, the market price is going to increase by 20% CAGR or 25% CAGR, and accordingly derive the value per option. So these are the two methods which are very much prevalent in listed companies. In unlisted companies also, it is like a very balance between fair value and market price at the time of grant. So it is like a equal weights. The respondents has given that they are some of, I mean, around 26% companies said they are using fair value method, or you can say Black-Scholes, or 25% companies says that they are using the market price at the time of grant. In our view, the market price means it is like companies, it means using the current FMV or market price in our view is not a correct or scientifically correct method to decide the value per options, because it does not consider the future appreciation. That is first thing. And if you are granting options at market price to or FMV to the employees, then it is not a appreciation, actually it is a cost to the employee. So that's why, but whatever the trends, so we are showing the trends, what the respondents has given, that 25% of the companies says that market price at the time of grant. So they decide the value per option on the basis of the market price or FMV at the time of grant. So this is a new question we have added, and we surprisingly got some different answers here. ESOP trends, instrument and implementation routes. So this is the means very important questions in an structuring and any ESOP trends, that okay, what are the instrument currently companies are using, and what are the implementation route they are doing, whether I should go through trust, whether I should do directly, what other companies are doing. So this is a very important questions when you plan your structuring, and even we have asked the same questions to the companies who have already implemented the plan, that how they have chosen the instrument and which instruments they are going for. So in listed companies, what we have seen the trend is that the combination of instruments has shown an increasing trend. So this is something very important, that the companies for getting the objectives, that okay, this is the objectives, defined objectives. Listed companies or the companies are not going only with one instrument, they are also going with the combination of instruments. And going further, that how they are deciding the combination. So we have seen that companies are moving the combinations to ESOPs plus RSU. So that is something is very, very, very important to see, that the companies are using this combination actually to achieve the objective. So it is not that just we go with the one instrument. They are for giving the benefit, for achieving the retention, reward, what we have seen as the main objectives. Companies are using both the instruments in their for the compensation structure. Implementation through the trust route. So this is a, I mean, very, means we have seen that in a 2020 to 2022, this is a means in last 2 years, implementation through trust route has shown a very increasing trend in listed companies. So this is very important to see that from 20% in 2022, the trust route has increased to 43% in 2022 actually. So this is like a 23% increase in trust route. And we have also just asked the questions that okay, why you are going ahead with the trust route and what are the advantages. So many companies has given the responses that it helps in secondary acquisitions to control dilution. So that's why the companies has moved from trust route, or more companies are looking for trust route than the direct route. Also, the cashless facilities for the employees and administratively easy to handle where the coverage is large. So we have seen this trend that the companies are moving from from direct route to more to the trust route because of that because of the dilution or because of the administrative to avoid the administrative hassles or provide cashless facilities to the employees. So this is a very important thing, and this trend has been changed in 2 years that many companies are going with trust route. In unlisted companies, when we have asked that okay, which instrument you are using, whether you are using ESOPs, whether you are using RSUs, cash settled SARs, equity settled SARs. And so the what responses we got is ESOP is still the primary instrument in state companies. Yes, there is a variation in ESOPs. People grant it at market price, discount to market price, or face values. But ESOP is still the primary instrument in unlisted companies as well. Unlisted companies also prefer RSUs for managing dilution and liquidity. So this is also one of the things when we have asked that, okay, why you are moving towards the face value in ESOPs or RSUs grant. Many respondents or many responses we got is that the managing dilution and liquidity. These are the main two factors which people has considered when they moved from when they are using RSUs as an instrument. In unlisted companies, implementation through direct route is still preferred means route. Actually, there is not much change in implementation in unlisted companies. Still the most popular route is direct route when it go with the unlisted companies. Very important questions asked by many companies that means what is the pool we should keep aside, and when we ask these questions to our respondents, majority of the listed companies said that they set aside 0 to 5% of the ESOP pool. Very important, and we have seen that this trend has not changed much. Even if we compare it with our earlier ESOP surveys, these trend is very much within that the listed companies keeps approximate 0 to 5%. They range in between, and they kept it high depending upon in which sector they are, that how much we should keep it. But generally they have a range of 0 to 5%. The second important thing what we have seen is the market purchase of shares. This is very important, that the source of equity has changed, and there is a 16% rise where the companies are going to market and buying the share, which is like a secondary acquisition. So so from 2020 to 2022, there is a 16% rise we can see here, where um, for capping the dilution or for managing the dilution, people are also going for the market purchase, and which is also an increasing trend. And we have seen this in the 2 years only, that there is a cost difference between 20 to 36%. So people are moving from the fresh issue to market purchase of shares through secondary acquisition. And this particular trend is in very much sync with what we have seen for the trust part, that implementation through trust. Because in listed companies, SEBI is very SEBI has clarified this, that if you want a secondary acquisition, if you want to buy it from the market, it should be done through trust. So that's why so what we have seen the trend in increasing in the implementation route, and this. So what we have seen in the listed companies, that people are going with the trust route and also with the market purchase of shares. So very important to see that so managing the dilution, managing the shareholders dilution, people are going with a secondary acquisition. And sorry, I was on the thing that SEBI has also made it clarified it and put it in the regulations, that if you want to do a secondary acquisition or market purchase, you need to run it through trust only. So there is no other route available for secondary acquisition. We need to do it through trust. And many respondents had says that yes, they are going with the market purchase of shares for ESOP. In unlisted company, I can say that yes, if you see there is a shift from 0 to 5% to 6 to 10%. So unlisted companies are increasing their pool size. They are so as we have seen in the earlier slides, they have increased the coverage. There is an increase in the pool as well, and there is a drastic change. If you see from 21%, it has increased to 55%. So 55% companies are going with a 6 to 10% of the ESOP pool or for they're keeping aside this much equity for the equity based compensation plans. So this is a very significant change we have seen, and yes, in very much line with the trends which we have shown that the enlisted companies are increasing the coverage. They are going more deeper into the organization. So we can see here that yes, it is the people are moving, and this is one of the very means I will say the significant change in trends we have seen between 2020 to 2022 in case of unlisted companies, that they keep larger pool, they are covering more employees, they are going more broad based and more deep into the organization. So this is one of the important thing. And yes, the promoter contribution has also increased. So this is something we have seen that means now the is the promoter contribution to ESOP pool has increased. We can from 15% to 40%. So, and this is generally happens, represent that investors may not want to dilute further. So it is like that the promoter needs to contribute for that ESOP pool whenever the employee exercises. So this is something a trend we have seen, and which is a very different from the last 2020 when we did the last survey. So this is a significant change from going broader, and the promoters are contributing more to the ESOP pool. Exercise price. So exercise means so this is like if you see the face value grants and discount to market price in listed companies are on the increasing trend. There is a 6% increase in face value grants, and there is around 12% increase. So if I combine, it is like a 18% change in where the companies are going more towards the discount to market price or face value grants, and there is a dip in where the companies are going with choosing the market price grants from 61% it has moved to 47%. So this is a very important means change. Like for example, so it shows that the people are moving or they are using the combination of ESOPs plus RSUs when in case of a listed companies, and more companies are moving towards the RSUs part. Um, so when we have asked that what is the reason of granting options at face value or discount to face value, the majority we have the responses we got is the change in the compensation strategy. It means that they're linking it to more to the performance of the company. That's why there is a discount in the exercise price. It is also like managing liquidity and dilution, and also following the industry practice. So these are some of the major responses we got when we have asked that why you are moving from from market price to face value grant. So, and the major one is like a change in the compensation strategy, linking more to more performance in this when I'm giving a discount in exercise price. In unlisted companies also we have seen some similar trend, but there is a steep rise. So this is not that much not a steep rise in the listed companies, but in unlisted companies we have seen that steep rise, that the face value grants has increased from 27% to 48%, which is approximate 21% rise from 2020 to 2022. So more unlisted companies are going towards the RSUs or face value grant, where uh, means and it has become more popular nowadays in unlisted companies. Means if I see the whole graph, 48% companies are at face value, and only 36% companies are at market price in an unlisted companies from the responses side. So And when we have asked that, okay, why you are granting RSUs in an unlisted scenarios, the major point is the change in the compensation strategy. And yes, the compensation strategy means it is more like linked to performance and managing dilution. So that is something we have seen. And so that is one of the major point actually that has come out from our survey this time. So ESOP trends in vesting and exercise period. So there we have more. First, we are focused on the listed companies, and the coming slides I will run you through the unlisted companies as well. That what responses we got and what is the percentage. So if we see the vesting period is more or less same. The companies earlier 76%, now 71% companies are in 3 to 4 years period of vesting. So this is from the Indian listed company scenarios, 3 and 4% is a good long-term period, and people are still using the same vesting period. Yes, many companies are moving towards 3 years period, but still it is like it is if we combine it, it is 71% companies are in 3 to 4 years. Uh, there is a shift in trend if I talk about annual vesting. Yeah, so earlier listed companies, 93% companies say that okay, they are going with the annual vesting thing. But this year we have seen that there is a trend. 77% companies says that they are continuing the annual vesting, but many companies, remaining 23% companies, has said that they have moved to half yearly and even quarterly vesting. Yes, there are some minimum vesting period required for first year, but post that the companies has given us the responses that they are going with half yearly and even the quarterly vesting just to show the benefit to the employee. So this is a change in the trend mostly in the listed companies side what we have seen. Listed companies for the vesting conditions, I will say, because they are moving it from ESOPs to RSUs or combination of ESOPs and RSUs. They are in the vesting performance also, vesting conditions also, they are putting the mix of time and performance based vesting conditions. So this is also very important. You can, I mean, this is something is like that they are not going with the time based only, and they have started with the mix of time and performance. And when they are granting RSUs, we have seen that the most of the companies have said that it is linked to the performance based vesting. So this is very important that yes, there is a change in trend where companies are moving from ESOPs to some discounted ESOPs or exercise price. But on the other side, it is like moving from from time-based vesting to mix of time-based or performance-based vesting in case of discount to RSUs. For in case of exercise period in listed companies, mostly 2 to 4 years period has been considered for is a good by the listed companies, and we have seen that the trend is very similar to last time that people are keeping 2 to 4 years period for exercise. ESOP trends in vesting and exercise period related to unlisted companies. Very similar to we can say the listed companies. Unlisted companies also prefer between 3 to 4 years period. And majority of the companies have responded that they are going with the 3 to 4 years of vesting period, which is enough long period. Yes, while means uh, in unlisted companies also the people are moving towards the half yearly and quarterly vesting. Earlier there is a means 81% companies has told that they are going with the annual vesting, but now it has come down to 73%, and more companies are evaluating or going towards the half yearly and quarterly vesting or in unlisted company scenario as well in India. Mix of performance based, very similar to what we have seen in the listed scenarios, that the combination or performance based vesting in case of RSUs are preferred in unlisted companies. We have also asked, because this is very important question in case of in unlisted companies, that what you do at the time of exercise. Do you allow employees to exercise the options and hold the shares, or do you link it to the liquidity event? And for our, I mean, surprised that people are allowing now to, I mean, 70, it has decreased from 72% to 61%, and more companies are allowing employees to exercise and hold shares. So the trend is from 28% to 39% has increased, where the companies are telling that they are allowing employees to exercise and hold shares prior to liquidity event as well. And 61% companies, which is dipped from 72%, has said that they are linking it to liquidity event. So this is also one of the uh, trend change in case of unlisted companies, where more companies are now allowing employees to exercise and hold the shares, and means it gives a ownership thing as well to the employees. So that is some of the things we got, that why they are allowing exercise. So that is one of the thing we got when we from the responses. And now coming that, what the unlisted companies do for liquidity of these options? So buyback by company or trust and purchase by existing investors are showing an increasing trend for planning liquidity events. So this is something that these two events are on increase in case of unlisted companies. And followed by the cash settlement. We have not seen much change from the cash settlement of things. There is not much increase there, but buyback by company or through trust and purchase by existing investors has clearly shown an increasing trend in case of unlisted companies for providing liquidity to the employees. So this is we tried to cover the majority of the structure point, that what are the I mean, for structuring plan, what are the trends going on from 2020 to 2022, covering listed and unlisted companies, that how they are differing, and uh, some of the key changes what we have seen. So I just want to summarize that what are the key takeaways we have seen from these ESOP trends. So yes, retention and rewards still are the main objectives in listed and unlisted companies for implementing an long-term incentive plan or equity-based compensation plan, actually. So this is something is still there. Yes, unlisted companies are going deeper in the organization. We have seen this, that there is a shift in say they are going with a 20% also of employee strength, increasing their pools. So that shows that the unlisted companies are going more broad-based plan and going more deeper to the organization and covering even some of the junior employees as well. RSUs are showing increasing trend both in listed and unlisted companies. Yes, the face value grant linked to performance, but yes, the RSUs are showing increasing trend. So, and this is like we have seen that this is very much in line with the global trends as well. Source of equity. So this time we have seen that many companies are from fresh issue, they have moved to market purchase, secondary acquisition of shares. So this is also very I mean, significant change we have seen, that the people are going with the trust route and buying or going secondary acquisitions just to minimize the dilution, so that there is no dilution to the current shareholders, and even they can run the equity plan for a longer period. Trust route is more preferred now in listed companies due to some advantages and the clarity given by SEBI. So trust route is more preferred now as compared to means what we have seen in 2020. Allowing employees to exercise and hold shares prior to liquidity event. So yes, this is an increasing trend what we have seen. Yes, popular is still that you link it to liquidity, but this trend is increasing, that they allow employees to exercise and hold shares. Even the liquidity event is at par, but there is an exercise period and it is not linked to liquidity. So they are giving employees that you can exercise and hold shares. A liquidity event through buyback by trust or company, and purchase by investors are preferred route in unlisted companies. So unlisted companies are planning their liquidity event more around these two options. Cash settlement of options, yes, that is the third thing which is like followed, but still these two are the main popular route, I will say, when they are planning the liquidity event in an unlisted scenario. So this is something we the key takeaways from this particular webinar. We have a series of webinar on this because as I said earlier that we have covered around 30 questions, not only related to structure, but also related to like how you handle when employees are leaving the organization, what the companies are doing for the vested options or employees holding shares, how they are managing their plan, how they are doing accounting, how they are handling the foreign employees. So these are the things we also there in the ESOP Direct Survey, and this is a part of our next webinar. So there is a series of webinar you can see where we are coming out with the ESOP trends. So I just give a glimpse of the next webinar in this thing, and so that you know that okay, what are the topics will be covered. Yes, other than this, there will be more information you will find in when you see the webinar. So this is more like implementation and administration, how companies are implementing and administration ESOPs in listed and unlisted companies. Handling ESOPs at the time of exit, mostly in case of unlisted companies, how they are handling ESOPs. Overseas employees, what are the challenges and processes followed by the companies. Accounting of ESOPs, what most of the companies are doing, what methods they are using to derive the fair value. Plan communications, at what intervals or at what time that companies are making communication to the employees. Timing of communication. Yes, the plan management. That how you are managing your plan, very important thing in an ESOP compensation and others. Yes. So these are some of the, so just want to glimpse about our next webinar. You will find the details on our website around this, but this is some of the things we want to cover. Yeah, so this is from my end. Over to Neha. Neha, if you have any questions, you can just read it out, and I will try my best to answer those. And I hope I tried to cover many of the things in this webinar, and hope this will be useful for all.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul, for those insights. It was quite extensive. There are a couple of questions. I tried to you answer them on the over the chat, but still, if there are more questions, we can take it over. So I think Priyanka has written, shared some more insights on how much ESOPs to be given at middle and junior level. So if you want to talk about it, Rahul.
Yeah, sure. So hi Priyanka. So actually, as I said, so this is more. So you want me from the listed company side or unlisted? So I will cover both actually. So as I said, in listed company side, still what we have seen in the ESOP trend, that companies are covering up to 10% of the strength. So which we can evaluate that it is a very key employees they are covering, and around 44% of the options they are granting to CEOs, CXOs, and 81% companies has said that they are covering only senior employees. So still they are not reached the junior employees. They are still at senior level, or maybe one or two level below the CXOs. We can call it as a middle management actually. So in listed companies, that is something is the current trend. In an unlisted companies, yes, what we have seen, there is a significant change. People are going more deeper, more broad based. They are giving that knowledge about the ownership on the company, that okay, if you are holding options, you are the owner of the company. So in that sense, they are going more broader, more deeper, and even it gives a sense of belonging to the employees. So if you ask me till what level they are going, so yes, they are covering senior and middle management, and yes, they also have the criteria where they are covering the junior employees as well. Yes, the criteria are like past performance, future potential, what are the current designations. These are some of the things where they evaluate when they grant the options still. But yeah, they are moving towards the junior employees as well. I hope I'm able to answer the question. Neha, and any other
Yeah,
question?
yes. So I had also written about the quantum. So I think that answers, holistically. I think the next question was on what is the trend in discounting. So I have mentioned, 25% and of the listed and 16% of the companies have gone with discounted exercise price. Palkar, do you have, further questions on this, or we can take up the next question? Okay, so I think I'll take up the next question then. Swapnil has written, what would be the recommended time for the window opening in monthly ESOP tranche. So more from the administration point of view.
Sorry, Mayank, right? Sorry. Neha, who
It's
has asked this
Swapnil.
question? Swapnil,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
So Swapnil, actually, if you are in a listed company side, you will find most of the companies keep the window open for the year. Yes, they have just a little bit of time period when there's a blackout thing. They close the window. Otherwise, most of the time it is open for the whole year. Um, if from the administration side, yeah, the people also have once in a quarter or maybe once for opening the exercise window, but that is not that much popular. If you ask, most of the company listed companies keep the exercise window open for the whole year, except for some compliances point, they keep the window closed for some period.
Okay. So Rahul, Palkar has responded back. He's asking for what is the extent of discount on the exercise price.
That means we have asked the respondents as well, and it is ranging between 25 to 50% actually. The companies in a listed scenario actually that the companies give discount. So that is something. But yes, the details are more in the our ESOP Direct survey, so you can have a look on that part.
Yes. So there are other questions on whether the presentation will be available. So it will be available on our website. All the webinars are available there. So you can go and check it out. About the present, I think the survey being circulated. No, we are not circulating the survey, but there is a wait list you can register and our team will reach out to you. Apart from that, I don't think there are questions. Please, you can type in your questions in the chat box or maybe, ask directly.
So I think there are no further questions. I think we can close this. So yeah, you can. So thanks everyone for participating here, and yeah, Neha, you can.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul, for the wonderful presentation. I thank you all the participants for your time, and we have a lot of other webinars lined up. So please register, and we hope to see you again. So thank you.